Welcome to Introductory Finance and a brief walkthrough of the new editions of our key local titles we sell into this market, Ross Fundamentals of Corporate Finance and Ross Essentials of Corporate Finance. I've timed this presentation to be around 5 minutes long, and I will cover all of the key points that you will be quizzed on through the Connect pre-work for this topic, but I do strongly encourage you to view the product quick start documentation for the Rosses, which are essentially a more concise version of the NPIs. These documents contain some really useful customer insight, as well as summaries of key competitors, strategy, and product features.
We've got 5 minutes, so in those 5 minutes what I'll be covering is where are we now with both Rosses, how will we win back market share by focusing on the local adaptive that we'll be launching with both books in September, and how do we target the competition with adaptive as well.
So where are we now? The intro finance market has approximately 40,000 students, so it's a sizable market that we sell into. The Ross Essentials and Ross Fundamentals local editions are market leaders in this intro finance space, with a combined share of about 40%. However, we do have some strong competition from the Burkes and the Perinos in this field, and they are continuing to slowly grow market share. This is something to be aware of, which I'll go into in a little bit more detail, but there's a lot of information in the product quick starts about these competitors. In terms of the new editions of Ross, we're expecting that it's reasonable for us to have a $1.5 million stake. So there is a lot of money that can be made with intro finance in this space. In terms of local adaptive, there is no local adaptive offering from us or our competitors at this point in time. So when the Rosses launch in 2016 with their new local adaptive, this is a big selling point for us and something that I'll speak about a little bit later on. First thing we'll cover is winning back market share. So how do we do this? We need to know the customer, we need to know the product, and we need to know the strategy behind it. And that strategy includes the pricing strategy and the selling strategy for the new editions. Know the customer. So who is the customer? The customer for Ross Essentials and Ross Fundamentals has to be considered as the student and the instructor. So this table here summarizes what their main issues are and what they're looking for to solve those issues or to resolve them. So obviously you can see there are some standouts here about lacking in time, being overloaded, a range of student abilities and motivations for study, students generally coming to class underprepared and essentially underperforming at the end of the semester, students also needing to understand why is it important that I study this, what relevance will it have for me in the future when I'm not studying anymore and I'm actually out there in the real world. And in that last column or row there, you'll see that price is definitely an issue for both sides of the customer coin. So for instructors, there's a reluctance in using Connect at times for assessment because they raise this issue about equity and not wanting to force the student to pay for something that the instructor feels goes beyond what the student needs. And for the student, sometimes there's just a reluctance to purchase traditional course materials or a textbook, for example, where they do not see the value. Now, first and foremost, these are valid issues or concerns that the customer has. And hopefully we can start to unpack them as we go through these slides and how we can show the value of adaptive by addressing the issues that they're facing. So now we have an overview of the customer. So we are getting a sense of knowing the customer and their needs and their issues. Now let's move on to knowing the product. The launch of the new editions of Ross in September 2016 will mean that for the very first time, there will be a local adaptive offering in intro finance, and this is really exciting. But in addition to that, there will also be a wealth of online resources, I guess business as usual really, for the Rosses that will be offered to our customers. For the new editions, these resources will be enriched with, over 500 algorithmic questions, Connect Insight reporting for both Rosses, guided financial simulations, and this new feature of having auto-gradable algorithmic Excel questions, which we're working on with the US and UK teams, and this is a really exciting feature. There'll be more to come in early 2016 about that. There'll also be the prep courses and the test banks, which most of you will have seen and demoed before, as well as new global case studies. So case studies that have both a global or international focus, as well as having a local focus as well. So overall, a range of case studies catering to different student cohorts or instructor preferences. The most exciting thing I think that I've tried to make clear here is that for the very first time, we'll be launching a local adaptive offering for the Rosses, which will essentially mean that no other intro finance product can boast this adaptive suite advantage, and this is a really exciting thing. Following on from the Know the Product slides, I just wanted to create 2 slides here that would give you guys a sense of the key differences between the Ross Essentials and Ross Fundamentals products, because they are different. The easiest way that I can put it is that Ross Essentials is a product that caters to students who are non-majors students, so those that may be majoring in marketing but not majoring in finance. In terms of Ross Fundamentals, it's the flip. Most of the time, the students that respond well to Ross Fundamentals are students that are taking a majors course in finance. So it's in terms of Ross Fundamentals and how it approaches content, it takes a more rigorous approach. The pitch is more for an intermediate kind of aptitude of student. There is a greater depth of coverage, so there are some topics there that I've listed that Ross Essentials does not cover, simply because the course outlines do not cover these at all, so why would Ross Essentials cover it? Flipping over to Ross Essentials, shorter chapters, the intended audience, as I said, is a non-majors audience. In terms of the pitch, it's usually for basic to intermediate aptitudes, but more along the basic line, a more condensed topic coverage, and a real emphasis for Ross Essentials on guided examples and step-by-steps for students that may be studying finance for the very first time, and it's a very non-majors course that they're taking. In terms of knowing the positioning, this is hopefully useful to you to get a sense of how the current Rosses sit and how the new Rosses will also sit in terms of a major, non-major split. So you can see there, I mean, it's fairly self-explanatory where Ross Essentials and Ross Fundamentals sits. Moving on to knowing the strategy. There's been quite a bit of work this time around to simplify everything for the Rosses. The first step in simplification for the Rosses has been to launch both books at the same time, which means that Ross Essentials, Ross Fundamentals, Learn Smart, SmartBook, Connect and Print options will all be live in September 2016. The second thing is simplifying the pricing strategy. So we've come up with 3 key selling options and pricing options for the new Rosses. The first is what we're calling internally the Gold option or the Gold Pack. The Gold Pack represents an all-digital bundle, which means that there will be Learn Smart, SmartBook and Connect offered for just over $100 for both Rosses. Then there's the Silver Pack, which is for instructors or students who would prefer to have a print book as part of their bundle, but also want to benefit from the digital that we would offer in the new editions. And for the Silver Pack, the price range is about $155 to $160 for the Rosses and Ross Fundamentals. And this is a very competitive price, considering that instructors and students would be getting Print, Learn Smart, and Connect. And then there's the ebook option for students or instructors that are not yet ready for Connect or Learn Smart or SmartBook, but do want a non-print option. And we've got the VitalSource ebook there for just over $74.95 for both Rosses. Now I've put down in that second bullet point there the selling strategy, and this is a suggestion really, and there's more information in the product quick starts about this, of how you can plan out your year to demo and pilot and sell the new Ross suite. So here I've got the importance obviously of demos, Lunch and Learn Smart, setting up pilot trials, utilizing your key selling windows in semester 2 2016, and also involving the product team, which obviously includes myself, and our DLCs in all warm Salesforce leads. Before I move on to our last section in these slides, I just want to recap what we've covered in this first part, which has been all about winning back market share and what we need to do, which is know the customer, know the product, and know the strategy, and strategy obviously including the selling strategy and the pricing strategy. Our last section here is all about targeting the competition with adaptive. It's pretty simple. My suggestion is that we focus on how our local adaptive will cater to the digitally curious and open student and instructor market. So they're looking for solutions that don't rhyme with textbook. Time poor or unmotivated students, underprepared students that really are searching for something that is faster and offers them a more efficient way to learn, and that also gives them results. And a price-sensitive market. Students and instructors want competitive pricing and something they can see value in for them. The Perinos and the Burkes are really our main competitors in this space. There's obviously the Gitman title and Petty title, and there's a lot more information in the product quick starts about these competitors. So I encourage you to take a look at the documentation if that you're finding that Gitman or Petty are a strong player in your market. But really the Perinos and the Burkes are what I think is most helpful for us to focus on here. Both Perino and Burke do not offer adaptive. So that's a key selling feature and key advantage. When I look at Perino, I see that there really are a reduced number of case studies compared to our Ross Fundamentals and Ross Essentials. There are no prep courses. There's a limited reporting functionality. In terms of what LearnSmart and SmartBook offers for student guidance, Perino offers nothing like this outside of the usual walkthrough explanations in the ebook or print book. For Burke, there is a little too much choice of titles that cover almost identical content. So there's the core, fundamentals, global, international, US, and local editions. So there's a bit of a confused branding message here, and there is no adaptive. I said it would take us about 5 minutes. It's taken us about 12 minutes instead, but I hope that you're still with me and that you've been able to take away a few useful things from these slides. We covered the competition and our competitive advantage quite quickly, but there is so much information in the product quick starts about this. So please take a look at them. If you have any questions, come and see me or email or contact me, and I'd be more than happy to walk you through some of those advantages and anything else that's in the product quick start. But just to briefly sum up, as I said at the beginning, I think the key for gaining market share for the new editions of Ross Essentials and Ross Fundamentals are all about knowing the customer, knowing the product, and knowing the strategy. Now that's really important because I think if we feel that there's a confidence in understanding what our customers' needs are and their issues are, and then a confidence in understanding exactly what the new editions will offer, as well as a confidence in going out and planning the year, understanding the pricing strategy and the best way to sell the product, that you really can't go wrong. And I've just added this in at the end, know who to call. I am more than happy to get involved to help you guys win business. It's one of the things I love to do. So please, if you have any questions or you get stuck or you want to give me any feedback in terms of what's happening in the market and our competitors, please know who to call, which is me.